Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, whatever time of the day you're listening to this. My name is Terry. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terry. My name's Terry. I'm your friend. I'm talking to you live from Austin, Texas. And boy, I tell you, you better believe it. The sun is hot. The barbecue is sweet and all the drinks are free if you're going to hang out with me. I just want to share with you a couple things. I don't know about you, where you are in your life right now, where you are in your business, where you're at in your relationship, or your finances, where you are in your spiritual relationship or your friend's relationship. But all of us at some point or other have been at the top of the mountain, and many times we find ourselves in the valley. I've been dealing with a little bit of valleyness myself, down in the valley, trying to figure out some of those pieces. So I wanted to share a couple things with you just that I have that crosses my mind and how I try to deal with some of that stuff. But you've all heard me say, if you want to change some things in your life, you're probably going to have to change some things in your life. And one of those things that many times needs to be changed, and I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying it to you, is my mindset, my headspace, how I think about my current situation. I was on the telephone with a good friend of mine the other day, and I said to her, it's interesting for me, when I look back at my life and I look at times when I've had adversity or times that I've been discouraged or times that I've been down in the dumps or times that I lost my job, I lost my wife, I didn't have any money, right? I was completely broke. And I look at where my headspace was at. And my headspace was like that in those situations, all the different times in my life. But my headspace was like that for maybe, 3 months, maybe 6 months. And that's why you've heard me say to everything in life, there's a season, right? I think 3 months is a season. Summer, fall, winter, spring. That's a season, right? 3 months. But somewhere's in that season of 3 months to 6 months, usually things change. If you're having a really good season, man, you better stock up because it might get to be a bad season. Or if you're having a bad season, man, if you can just get through the day, the week, the month, or the 3 months or 4, things can change for you a little bit. And so all of that being said is, how do you get yourself in the right mindset? And I start this story with so many people that work for me and have worked for Orange Theory Fitness. When I first meet somebody new, one of the things I like to hear, or we're having a team building exercise, I'll do this. I'll take a whole group of people, 15, 20, or 40 people, and I'll say, introduce yourself to the rest of the team. How long have you been with Orange Theory Fitness? And how did you first hear about Orange Theory Fitness? And what made you want to work for us? And what that does is it rolls back the videotape of your life. It rolls back the videotape of how you first got started. And so many times what happens in our lives, what happens in our careers, what happens in our relationships is we look at the here and now and we forget about the real things that started with us in the very beginning, the why behind what we're doing. And so many times what happens is you started out with dreams, with goals and desires, right? You might have started out with a dream or a goal of getting married or having a good relationship or having a family or saving, up a chunk of money or, I don't know what it is, but you may have had that as a dream. And then what happens is you start out with a dream and you start out on a journey and then things get tough. Things don't go as you wanted. It's never a straight line to success, right? The elevator to the top is broken. You got to take the stairs, and it's one step at a time. Any case, what happens is that adversity then begins to come in, and it creeps in, and it creeps in, and then negative thinking creeps in, and we end up telling ourselves bad things. And what ends up happening? The adversity becomes bigger than the dream. And let me ask you a question. When you think about yourself today, when you think about where you're at, even in getting in shape, right? You go a weekend and you ate the pizza and you ate the cupcakes and you had the birthday party and you had all those good things that we all do, maybe a couple extra drinks. And all of a sudden we go, oh my goodness, I didn't work out for 4 days. Ooh. And so what do you do on Monday or Tuesday? You don't feel like working out, so you skip another 2 days, and that turns into 6 days, and that turns into a week, and then I haven't worked out in a week, and one day ain't gonna make a difference, and that turns into 2 weeks. And pretty soon we find ourselves that the adversity or the conflict is bigger than the dream of getting in shape or losing the weight or building the company or having the best relationship, the best marriage. All I'm suggesting is sometimes we forget about our dreams and we focus on what's really happening. And I would encourage you, the first part of this is in terms of mindset, you've got to go back to the dream, right? Change. So what are the things that need to be changed? If you want to change some things, right? What needs to change is what your focus is on. If you can look up, you can get up, right? Les Mills tells us that. Not Les Mills, Les Brown. In any case, my point is, can you change your thinking right now and get your mind, your thoughts, your attitude, and everything back to why you got started in the first place? Second thing I wanted to share today is how do you convince and live that dream? And many times we feel like, I've heard this a lot recently, it's lonely at the top, Terry. I'm the CEO of a company today, and I hear that, it's lonely at the top. And there's a lot of things that everybody else doesn't have to deal with when you're at the top of an organization. But the truth is, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have a desire, whether it's about business, relationship, finances, etc., how do you really sell that dream and get others involved? How do you get your dream to become kind of an objective or more familiar with a group of people, right? And there are patterns for that. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. But it was just his dream. How did Martin Luther King get a lot of people focused around his dream? Not too long ago, there was a presidential candidate that won the presidency, Barack Obama. And his entire presidency, whether you like him or whether you hate him, his entire presidency was about, yes, we can. It was about hope for change in America, right? You remember that? His whole candidacy was, yes, we can. Now, I'm going to use Trump as another example. You might like Trump, you might hate Trump. But how did what was his candidacy about? Make America great again. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, it doesn't matter, but people were buying into that. He took his vision, he took his dream, and he got other people to buy into it. He did it, Obama did it, Martin Luther King did it. Why can't you do it? Why can't you take your dream and of encouragement, your dream of hope, your dream of building a company, your dream of building a business, your dream of success, your dream of having a better relationship, your dream of better finances, and why can't you get a couple other people involved and share that dream or that goal? Maybe they get a piece of it, maybe they get a part of it. And so really what I'm talking about is the second part of your mindset is, what are you telling yourself and what are you telling others? Are you telling them how hard it is? Are you telling them about how the struggle is? Are you telling them how broke you are? Are you telling them how bad your relationship is? Are you talking about the problems in your life? Or are you talking about the goals, the dreams, the desires, and where you got started and why? Even though adversity is hitting you in your life, you're still focused on achievement. You're still focused on the goal. You see, most of us as leaders, we can only see as far as we can see. We go as far as we can see, and when we get there, we go a little bit further. But you're going to have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? And I'm telling you, when the dream and the goal is big enough, it's always worth it. I've told this story before, but I'll share it again. When my daughter was 7 years old, Taylor, she was living in New Jersey. We were both living in New Jersey. I got a job offer to go to Florida, and I was concerned that I was not going to be able, I was a single dad at the time, and I was not going to be able to continue on in the relationship with my daughter. And so part of my deal with going to Florida was to get the owner of that company to agree that on Friday afternoon, I could leave a little bit earlier. I could fly up to Newark, New Jersey. I could rent a car. I could drive for 45 minutes and pick up my daughter. And then I could drive for another hour and a half to my parents' house in Pennsylvania on a Friday night. I'd spend the weekend with my daughter. And on Sunday night, I would do everything in reverse order. And I did that for 7 years, every other weekend, for 7 contiguous years. And during that time, right, I was trying to date. I was trying to get involved in a new relationship. And there are sacrifices that I had to make. There are sacrifices you're going to have to make, right? But I'm just telling you, when the dream is big enough, when the relationship with my daughter and having not only a relationship for today, but in the future, having a relationship with my daughter, when I put in the time, when I put in the sacrifice, or I gave things up that I could have done on a weekend back in Tampa, Florida, when I gave that up and I sacrificed that because of the longer term effect of the relationship with my daughter, it was worth it. Those types of things are where your headspace needs to be around. Just sharing my thoughts. I have a few things on the page here, but all I'm suggesting is when you're facing some adversity in your life, man, get back to where you were dreaming. It's good. If you don't have a dream, take some time, get some quiet time, get on some good music, read a book, read something, talk to a friend, talk to a mentor, and get a dream. And make it a big dream. Make it the bigger the dream, the bigger the payoff. The bigger the dream, the bigger the sacrifice. Big dreams have good things. And I would just tell you this, if you're a leader and you're hoping for good things, or you're opening up a business and you're saying to yourself, man, I got to find some new things to tell some of my old people because they don't believe in the dream anymore, then I would tell you this, you got the wrong people. You need to say the old things to a new group of people that can get energized from what you have to say. If you're saying it and you're saying it and you're saying it and you're saying it and you're still saying it and nobody's buying it, you got the wrong people. You can't be trying to find new things to say to old people. You got to find new people to say your old dreams and share your old dreams, your desires, and build a new company, build a new business with new, energized, enthusiastic people that are bought into your ideas, your thoughts, your processes, your systems, and what you're trying to accomplish. I'm telling you, it works. My name's Terry. I'm your friend. Get a big dream. Don't let the adversity pull you down. Get a bigger dream.